Deep squat breathing. This is a really good positional breathing drill to use later in pregnancy to help open up the low back as well as let the pelvic floor relax. So I'm going to be using some suspension straps for this, but you don't need suspension straps. You can hold on to just really any sort of unmovable object. I've had people hold on to bathroom sinks at the bottom, or if you have access to a gym, you can do it on the squat rack there. I've had people hold on to towels that were looped over a door, but we just want to make sure that it's something that will not move on you. So I'm going to grab my straps. This one is also really nice in the way that I'm going to show you for getting some more expansion through the lats, because those can also create a lot of compression for us. So just a lot of stuff here that makes you feel really good all along the back of your body and help really relax that pelvic floor. So I highly recommend, if you are in a later stage of pregnancy, to get something to sit on. It's just going to feel a lot better. You're going to be able to get into the position a little bit more and relax. So you bring the floor up to you as much as you need. If you are not as pregnant as I am and you feel like you can just kind of sit back on your heels, then that's totally fine, but I am not able to do that at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be in this deep squat position, and I need to have my knees apart to accommodate for my belly, and that is totally fine. If you are not this pregnant and you can have your knees together in front of you, then that's great too. So what I'm going to do is hold on to my straps up above my head. Now, what I want to remember here is that what I don't want to do is just collapse in through my chest like this and breathe. Because I'm not really going to get any deep breaths that way. I'm not going to elicit any sort of change or expansion or stretching from the inside breathing in that fashion. And that is the goal here, is that we are essentially stretching from the inside using our inhalation to create some expansion in areas that we are a little bit tighter. So what I want to think about doing is I'm going to bring my legs just a little bit in front of me instead of just wide open like this. Just a little bit in front of me. Now from here, I am going to try and tuck my tailbone underneath me a little bit more. So instead of sitting right on top of my sits bones, I just tuck that tailbone under so that I get a little more flexion here in my low back. And that just means a little more curve. And we actually want that for this breathing drill. Now, without losing that flexion in my low back, I'm just going to kind of slowly lean forward, and I should start to feel kind of a nice stretch through my side body by hanging on to my straps or whatever surface that I'm using. So I check in with myself and make sure that I have that little bit of flexion in the low back and that I'm not just falling forward with my neck and letting my upper traps and shoulders creep up towards my ears. So I'm still just kind of keeping a neutral position there. Now I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to use a very long exhale. The reason I'm doing that is because the more that I exhale, the more that I can inhale. The more that I can inhale, the more change that I'm able to elicit and really feel some expansion and release in the pelvic floor. So I'm going to inhale through my nose. I'm going to open my mouth. Now, on that very long exhale towards the end, I can feel my abdominal muscles contracting a little bit, and it's mainly those deep TVA muscles that are contracting. I want to hold on to a little bit of that tension the next time that I inhale, and I'm going to notice by holding on to a little bit more tension in those deep core muscles that I'm going to be able to feel a little more expansion happening all along this area in my back. Then I inhale. Now, the next thing we would want to pay attention to is what is happening to our pelvic floor while we're doing this. This feeling is going to be really subtle, but it's one that is really helpful to recognize and understand. When you inhale, you should feel your pelvic floor move down slightly. Again, this feeling is subtle. It's not going to be a really aggressive feeling, but it should just feel like some pressure gently pushes down kind of towards that perineum. And then on your exhale, it should feel like the group of muscles just gently moves up. So again, you're going to get that little bit of flexion in the low back. Make sure you're not just rounding through the upper spine. So just kind of in that nice neutral position. And then you are going to exhale. Now we're going to inhale. Feel that pelvic floor gently move down. And exhale. One more long inhale. So on this inhale, I'm feeling expansion around my bra line, a little bit underneath my bra line, and I'm also feeling those lats letting go and my pelvic floor is moving down all at the same time. And I'm going to exhale. When I exhale, I feel my ribs come down a little bit. So on that inhale, they came apart and out in that 360-degree fashion. On that exhale, I'm going to feel my ribs come down and in a little bit more. And I should also feel some activation with my deep core during that exhale as well.